Overnight snow has been falling across large parts of the UK, causing travel disruption and power cuts in some areas.
Snow has been falling across large parts of the UK. It's caused travel disruption and power cuts in some areas. The Met Office has issued amber weather warnings for parts of northern England, the Midlands and Wales, where it says some rural communities could be cut off.
Flights were temporarily suspended at Bristol Airport last night, and it's warning that more delays are possible today. With the latest, Simon Jones reports.
The forecasters said it was coming. On the A3 in Surrey, the snow has been falling fast. Wiltshire Police said the weather was causing chaos. Officers in Somerset advised people only to travel if absolutely necessary. This was the snowy scene at Gatwick Airport. Bristol and Birmingham airports had to temporarily suspend flights to clear their runways, and some passengers due to fly into Stansted ended up far away.
Yeah, so it took off from Dublin at around 11:30. We were supposed to land in Stansted, and then because of all the snow and ice, they were trying to clear the runway for us, so we were flying around there for a while. And then it got to a point where we wouldn't have been able to land because we wouldn't have had the fuel to stick around any longer, so they diverted us to Manchester. We ended up flying straight past Manchester, diverted us again to Prestwick, and then they ended up diverting us again to Glasgow International.
The emergency services have faced some challenges. Footage from the National Police Air Service shows the moment a family lost in dark and freezing conditions on the moors near Oldham were located and helped to safety. In the Lake District, some people had to be rescued from their vehicles, and it's already been a busy time for the North Yorkshire Fire and Rescue Service.
The icy conditions have caused us some issues around road traffic collisions where people have just, they've not really taken the weather into account and driven to the conditions.
This was the scene overnight in Redhill in Surrey, and there's been a covering in Maidstone in Kent. There have been power cuts in Birmingham, Bristol and Cardiff, blamed on the weather. In Liverpool, the gritters have been out and about, and they've also enlisted the help of quad bikes.
The bikes are used in the city centre, so to get into those, sort of more pedestrian areas to try and keep the city centre on the move, and they use a liquid salt solution, so that's quite unusual. Yeah, that means we can do the city centre as well as those main roads.
Much of the UK remains under yellow warnings for snow, ice or rain, but the more serious warnings are amber for snow in northern England and snow and ice in Wales and most of the Midlands. The amount of snow areas have seen already has varied greatly. This is Leeds this morning, and South Wonston in Hampshire got some of the white stuff. In Scotland, the big concern is ice. In other areas, any snow has already turned to rain. In Redhill in Surrey, though, this skier was making the most of the conditions while they lasted. Simon Jones, BBC News.
Now, it's just approaching 8:30. I want to return to our top story. Scenes like this across the country this morning. Most of the UK, or some parts of the UK, actually waking up to snow this morning. Airports, Liverpool, Manchester, they've temporarily closed their runways because of the snow. There was disruption yesterday in Bristol and Birmingham last night.
Meanwhile, as amber warnings remain in place across parts of northern England, the Midlands and Wales, some households are facing power cuts. Police forces also warning of significant road disruption.
Let's talk to our reporter Nikki Scheller, who's in Leeds for us this morning. And Nikki, that snow around you tells you the story. A bit of disruption, but maybe not as bad as some had feared. What's it look like where you are?
Yeah, absolutely, Ben. So I am in the amber area here in Leeds that covers the area of West Yorkshire up to Northumberland and over to Cumbria. And it has been this sort of snow for the last couple of hours. I got up around 4 o'clock this morning and there was a covering, but this has been coming down a lot harder in the last few hours. Probably cleared about 5 centimetres off the top of the car, and then there was another couple of centimetres that have fallen. So this is the scene that a lot of people across West Yorkshire and indeed across England are waking up to this morning. Snow, lots of it on the ground. But the good news is, because it is a weekend, not so many people are heading out to travel on the roads. However, you've mentioned the airports. We've just heard from Leeds Bradford Airport, which is about 5 miles up the road, that they have had to close their runway. They are also asking any passengers to walk to the terminal because the bus service from the car park isn't working. and I had a look and most of their early flights have either been cancelled or indeed delayed until this afternoon. You can see that on this road there are some cars out and about. Just before you came to us, a couple of snow ploughs came down this road trying to clear it as it heads into Leeds city centre. But I think because the temperatures aren't that cold, as they rise, this will start to melt. Of course, we'll then have the issues of flooding maybe in some areas and also freezing on the roads, which could cause those icy roads if the temperatures do drop again, Ben and Rach.